Papa sige? Nanti papa no birthday ne? Oh yeah? Loko gere satyare. Chaya skupan gene etle. Chaya skupan gene skupa mukevi. Skuma. Yeah, just tell them we want the same suppliers. You know, we know the standards are high, so we want to get the same suppliers and do the contract like that. Well, I don't really have any room to negotiate at all because, you know, they're doing the stuff they want. You know, it's how they do their studies and all their research. But I know, you know, we should be doing more better than 07. Business-wise, my father started it, and I was just born into it, you know. My father moved down here in 1972, so in the 70s, and I mean, he used to be a professor in India, and like everybody was looking for an opportunity, so he came down here as a tourist just to, you know, take a look, and he just saw it was a golden opportunity for him. So, and he just applied for a visa to get here, and he got permanent residence, and life just started from there. So my dad was just working really hard from there, and, you know, with his brothers, they all saved up money. They all lived in one apartment. Everybody sacrificed, and eventually he saw, you know, an opportunity at a hotel in Il Perrot, and he purchased it. And everybody, you know, moved down there, start working. You know, they renovated, they fixed it up. And when he saw a golden opportunity once again, the economy went up. He sold it, made some profits, and then moved to Ontario, built a hotel up there, renovate it, make it work, sold it. Sudbury. Same thing, and he did that strategy back and forth where the big success came in the 90s when he went to Quebec City, is when he built his first property at $2 million. From then on, I was born into the business, you know. I've always seen how my father did things, and, you know, just the daily lifestyle was just hotels. My position right now is I'm the president of the company. I've taken over everything, basically. But my father is still there, you know, he's still there guiding me. He's a CEO, but he's retired. He's not officially retired, but he's retired. He doesn't do a lot of things at all.
So can you print out, and now I know I left her a message
I know government, you know, we don't have really much of a choice about,
no,
right? We can
you
refuse
have
them
all your
what the government
mandatories,
requires.
eh?
The expectations are very high, but I've grown to them and I know what I'm doing, you know. I'm confident on the seat I'm sitting on. It's just, I'm in charge of basically everything. There's not one thing that my hands are not in there. I was always an athlete. I always loved playing sports. I always wanted to go to the Olympics as a sprinter. I would just do so many things. So field hockey was a sport. My uncle just, you know, threw me in here and goes, there's this community here that's playing field hockey with the Quebec team, and he just, you know, just tried me out, and I picked up the sport so fast that people were freaking out. Like, this kid is naturally just that good. But eventually I was really good, where I was going to tournaments in Nova Scotia, Ottawa, Toronto, and we were winning. And I was playing with guys, you know, 21 and over. So, and I was only 11 years old. So the pressure was on, but I was taking it, and I was having a lot of fun. And the guys gave me a lot of respect. They loved me like a little kid. And they used to tease me all the time. So I got into it. So my goal when I was 11 years old, I had a lot of pride of being Canadian. I was like, that's it. I'm gonna be a little guy from Montreal, representing Canada. I'm gonna go to the Olympics. And I knew that we could have done that. So I even did a trip to India, then the Olympics, and then came back. 11 years old, my mind was set. I knew what I wanted. I knew what my dreams were, what my goals were. Everything was clear. There was no more clouds. I knew what I had to do to get there. I was going for practice one day, and I'll never forget this day, August 16th, 1996. I had practice that day on a Friday, and it's tough. And it was around, like, I would say 6 o'clock. My practice was at 7:30, and I'm ready to go. I'm just waiting for my uncle to finish work to, you know, take me to practice. And I get a call saying, okay, you know, go downstairs, turn off the washing machine before you go. And I was like, okay, I'll do this. I don't know, I went down to the laundry room, daily routine. I'm telling you, since like 4 or 5 years old, I've been doing this, you know, so it's just a daily routine. Go down and turn off the machine. I see the washing machine spinning. and it's facing you, and it's just like going over 100 kilometers, industrial machine, it's just spinning, and you know, I go to turn it off, and it's not turning off. And at the same time, there was a guy on reception who was working. He just walked in the laundry room at the same moment. I pointed with my left hand like, you know, hey, look at this. And he came up behind me. And he kind of like did shove me in. And my arm just went in. And it wasn't my whole arm, it was just one finger. And I remember it slow motion, one finger, and I just felt everything wrap up. Wrap up my finger, my wrist, my arm. I mean, if you could just imagine, that thing was spinning 100 kilometers per second, and everything was slow motion for me. I felt everything just wrap around my arm, and then bang. When I woke up, I was kind of paralyzed on that bed for weeks. I asked my youngest sister, Asha, and you know, we're close, we have a love-hate relationship. And I asked her, I'm like, listen, just tell me what's up. There's something wrong with me, because I'm feeling so much pain on the left side. I don't know why. And I can't even like lift my neck up to see what's wrong. And she just sat down with that. I still remember she had ice cream for me, and she had that Dairy Queen ice cream for me, and she's just like, bro, you're missing your left arm. I'm telling you, man, I was paralyzed on that bed. I couldn't move for 2 weeks. And the anger I had, I got off the bed and I just started grabbing everything, all the flowers, the bouquets, the vases, and I just started throwing and breaking as much as I can. I was so mad until they had to come back in, put me to sleep again. Wake up like, you know, some other time, I don't know when I woke up again. And I had, you know, psychiatrists and all of them start coming in and working on me, and I was just like, so upset. As an 11-year-old, you just don't know how life goes on, and I was just like, what am I gonna do now? You know, how am I gonna eat? How am I gonna, you know, how am I gonna do stuff? How am I gonna go to school? You know, I was always popular, I'd never been bullied, and I'm like, this is something I'm gonna get into. And I was so worried about these things. That's it. You know, I remember the first thing I asked the doctor, because the doctor really had to sit down and talk to me. And I don't care what you're saying, just tell me, can I play hockey? And then doctor's like, no. Straight up, the doctor was like, no. And she was like, you know what? I don't even think you can run anymore. In my mind, I made up this decision where I was like, you know what? Even if my body can't handle it, I'm gonna rather die 10 years from now being an athlete than live till 80 just being alone. So I always knew I was gonna be an athlete, so I wanted to go that way. So from there, my ambitions just grew. I always heard my sisters giggling and talking about the cute guys on the basketball team, and then they just, this light flash, I'm like, hey, I want to get all those girls too in high school, so I want to play basketball. But I was never a good player. So eventually when I went to high school, I sat on that bench. I still remember I sat on that bench for like 2 months. I remember the gym teacher finally just looked at me and paid attention to me. You know, being ignored for 2 months, that was cruel also. But finally got that attention. And he looked at me, he's like, what are you doing? Like, I'm sitting down on the bench. Like, what do you want me to do? And he's like, well, you can't play basketball? And in my head, I'm like, is this guy crazy? I can't play hockey. He asked me to play basketball, and he's like, look. And I'm on the bench, and he's in the middle of the basketball court, and he's right above the three-point line. sorry, within the three-point line, and he just throws the ball with one hand. And maybe it was fluke, but it went in swish. And when he hit that shot, everything just changed for me. This light just flashed in my head. It was like, I can do this. So that's where I went from it. That's where basketball came in, was from that teacher who inspired me, Mr. Spiliotakis. It wasn't easy. I mean, I had to work a lot. I mean, my first year in high school, I was bullied so much, so I had no friends. I would be playing basketball in the morning. I would be playing basketball at recess. I would be playing basketball at lunch, basketball after school. I did this because I had nothing else to do. At a point, they wanted me to see a psychologist because I was playing so much basketball. They're like, this kid's possessed. You know, he needs to focus on school. But I don't know why. There was just something in my body that was just telling me this is my drive. It's just, this is my goal. This is it. This is basketball. That's all. You go from here. And everything's going to come from there. And my mind was set up that basketball's going to give me everything. It's going to give me all the girls. It's going to take me to college. It's going to make me very popular. And you know what? It did. I have a lot to be thankful to the guys I grew up with who supported me all the way. Ahmad Yousif was my best friend. He was probably the best basketball player for our age. And that gave me a lot of motivation and a lot of support being next to him, because he supported me, talking to the coaches, to playing with him. So I picked up so much things from him. The aggressiveness, how to shoot. He taught me a lot of things that I wasn't getting from coaches, because coaches would put you aside. And that's when I knew I was going somewhere. I knew that I can play at another level now. And that's when I started dreaming for college basketball. That's when I was like, I can do this.
And tonight we present a unique basketball player, the story of this young man who has overcome seemingly insurmountable odds.
Vijay R.Patel looks like any other basketball player except for one thing. Patel has only one arm.
When I was in college, I was getting exposed like ridiculously. Media was all over the place. Articles, newspapers, everybody just wanted to write stories about me. And I finally got connected with the Harlem Globetrotters in 2007. It was a great opportunity. It was another success for me, an achievement in my life where, you know, I'm doing something a lot of people dream of. And I finally made it to the pro level. After the Globetrotters, I mean, I met Kevin Eastman, Boston Celtics assistant coach. He was like astonished on how I'm playing and how I'm doing everything with one arm. He was asking me how I do these techniques and what I'm doing to get there. And he's like, I'm definitely gonna use this for my players. I gotta use this for my players. And he's like, the way you're doing things is ridiculous. And I asked him, like, how far do you think I can go with this? He's like, you should be playing semi-pro right now, no matter what. He goes, you could do it. And it just felt like you had the greatest basketball player in the world telling you can do this. And this is a coach telling me I can play, you know, pro. I'm playing right now in the Dexter Basketball League, and I need my stats to go up. I'm looking to play in Europe, and I'm trying to play for Asia right now. So I'm in this league right now to just get my stats going and get exposed. But I just have too many people telling me, don't let this talent go, you know, so I'm trying one more time. I don't think I'm handicapped. I never was. I don't even think I'm disabled. I don't look at myself like that. If you see what I do on the court, I make people with two arms look like they're a joke. I like to take the positive things out of stuff, like disability. I like to believe that everybody has abilities. Impossible, all I believe in is just possible. What I try to show kids is, you know what? Adapt. Adapt. We're human beings and we're supposed to adapt, and I'm adapting to, you know, whatever's around me.